Hello, everybody. Welcome to Broadway.com's Live at 5. It is Thursday, March 28th, and I am Ryan Lee Gilbert.
And I'm Beth Stevens.
And we are joined here in the studio by the marvelous Caitlin Moynihan.
Hello, everybody.
And we have a very... It was beautiful.
We're feeling
It was beautiful. We have a very special guest with us today. Fiyero's here, guys.
Woo!
Ryan McCartan, who is starring in Wicked as Fiyero, dancing through life night after night.
Look, Caitlin wore her wicked green.
Look at that.
Yes, it was totally intentional.
You're on point there. We're going to chat with Ryan in just a little bit about that blockbuster. But first, let's talk about today's top 5.
This Broadway hit is hitting the road.
Guys, To Kill a Mockingbird is a huge hit on Broadway, but you don't have to come to Broadway to see it because it's going on tour.
Big deal.
This is Aaron Sorkin's take on Harper Lee's very famous novel that everyone read in school.
Hopefully. Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping you did your homework.
Yeah.
It's going to launch its national tour in August of 2020. It will kick off at the John F. Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C., but then it's going to go all over the place.
Yeah, coast to coast.
Coast to coast. So look for it in 2020. It feels far away. 2020.
It does.
It does.
Yes.
We don't have cities yet. We don't have casting
No.
yet. I'm sure auditions will be soon.
Yes,
Get ready.
It's going to be a hot ticket. Yeah.
And this Tony winner is going to Let There Be Light.
Yes, speaking of the Kennedy Center in our nation's capital, they announced their 2019-2020 season today, and so To Kill a Mockingbird will be at the end of that season, but in the meantime, they're putting on a bunch of favorite musicals. The one Caitlin was hinting at there is the sort of gem of the season. Rachel Bay Jones will be starring as Diana in Next to Normal, which...
Great casting.
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
excellent.
That's such great casting. Next to Normal will play January 29th through February 2nd. But before that, you will be able to see Footloose October 9th through the 13th, and Bye Bye Birdie will be playing in April of 2020. Footloose, Bye Bye Birdie, and Next to Normal. That
runs the gamut of musical theater.
The emotional gamut there, but very exciting things. We will find out casting, additional casting for Next to Normal and casting for the other musicals soon. Closing out their current season is, of course, that star-studded Tommy with Casey Cott and Christian Borle, Wesley Taylor, Mandy Gonzalez.
Wow.
And that is playing April 24th through the 28th. Creative team and everything else for the rest of the shows will be announced soon, but very exciting. And
Good stuff.
I'm heading to DC to see Rachel Bay Jones do that. Yeah.
Yes. This well-loved story is getting the stage treatment.
This is very exciting. So if you didn't read To Kill a Mockingbird, get on that.
Yeah.
8th graders.
We'll shame
All
you
the
into
6th
that.
graders
Mhm.
read The Outsiders
Yep.
by Essie Hinton. Did we all read it? We all read it?
Yes,
Ryan
we all did.
McCartan.
Yep.
Ryan
You can
McCartan.
quiz him on it later.
Mhm.
It's now becoming a stage musical, and it's going to have its premiere production at Chicago's Goodman Theater. Listen to this creative team. It's really interesting. It will be directed by Liesl Tommy, who, of course, directed Eclipsed, and it will be written by Adam Rapp,
Yes.
who is
so
a Pulitzer
cool.
finalist, and the music will be by Jamestown Revival, which is Justin Levine, Jonathan Clay, and Zach Chance. Okay, that's pretty...
Yeah. No,
Pretty
that
exciting.
seems like the right mood.
Guys, you
for
know
the
this was
music
also a
Outsiders.
movie in 1983 with a very starry cast. We've got people nodding in the room.
Yeah, I mean, it was very
Check out the movie if you don't
very
read the book.
formative for
You-
young gay Ryan to see that cast. Of
And
The
young straight
Outsiders.
people, too.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it
Yes,
had
I'm
a,
sure.
a cast. This will play from June 20th through August 2nd, 2020 in Chicago at the Goodman Theater.
Mhm.
No casting yet.
Yet.
Look up this book. It's so good. And
It's
and the
amazing,
movie, I
yeah.
can't, it's just a cavalcade of movie
Yeah,
stars.
Francis Ford Coppola.
Yeah.
Francis
did the
Ford
movie.
Coppola did the
Yeah.
movie.
And these king's ex-wives are coming stateside.
Yes, so Six is a big hit.
Yes.
On the West End right now. It's nominated for how many? For 5 Olivier Awards at the moment.
Pretty good.
And so now it is going to make its North American premiere. And it has amazing stars attached: Abby Mueller, Adriana Hicks, Andrea McCasit, Brittany Mack, Samantha Pauly, and Anna Uzele will be starring in the show. It will run at the Chicago Shakespeare Theater. Chicago gets everything.
We
My
need to go to
goodness.
Chicago,
no
guys.
kidding.
Chicago.
May 14th through June 30th. It is written by Toby Marlowe and Lucy Moss and is directed by Moss and Jamie Armitage. If you don't know what Six is about, it centers on the 6 ex-wives of King Henry 8th, to count all of the Roman numerals who headline an electrifying pop concert spectacle, flipping the narrative on the one-sided story from our history books. Yes, ladies on top in this one.
Mm-hmm. This star-studded movie is in the works.
Oh, I just got very excited about this. We're talking about a movie of... Are you ready? You ready? Othello. I'm Macbeth. I just want to see what you do. I'm just waiting for you to look.
You know.
Obviously, I was going to say the Scottish play because that's what people say in the theater business, but we're not in a theater. We're just in a place that looks like a theater. So it's Frances McDormand and Denzel Washington. Lots of Oscars between them and Tony Awards. Lady Macbeth will be played by, obviously, Frances McDormand. Joel Cohen will direct and adapt Shakespeare's script. Macbeth is the bloodiest.
So bloody.
And the shortest of Shakespeare's plays.
Right.
Although,
that's right.
You know. Yeah.
So long.
Yeah. And
I mean, Titus Andronicus is very bloody.
Who knows?
Anyway, I don't need to tell you who Frances McDormand or Denzel Washington are, but Macbeth, it's going to be produced by Scott Rudin. He knows a thing or two about a Shakespeare play.
He certainly does.
Currently represented by King Lear on the Broadway.
That's right. Also on the site, some interesting things you can check out right now. There is a full front row feature live. Great pieces of that for you to check out. A new episode of Gideon's Vlog, What's the Dill? Is on the site right now.
And he sits down with Kimberly Grigsby, who's the music director, and he also shows us secrets of the wardrobe room.
We go beneath the Schubert/Booth
Yeah,
theater.
they're connected.
Very interesting stuff. A first look at what the Constitution means to me, which opens on Sunday, May 30th. And Beetlejuice begins previews this evening over at the Winter Garden
You only said
Theater.
it once. Oh,
That's right. No, we don't want none of that. So check out all of that fun stuff. Beth, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Caitlin, tell us about today's wickedly cool guest.
That was good. Yes, guys, we have Ryan McCartan in the studio with us today. He's currently starring in Wicked as the Winky Prince himself, Fiyero. This marks his Broadway debut. You may have seen him on stage when he was in Heathers off-Broadway, or you may have seen him on screen in the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Let's do the time warp again. That's an important part of it. Liv and Maddie, Freakish, Midnight Texas, Royal Pains. This guy's been in a whole lot of stuff. You all know him. You all love him. Follow him on social media at Ryan McCartan and leave all of your questions in the comments below. Please welcome the Ryans.
Look at that.
Look at that. Wow, we should go on the road.
You know what our name means? Have you ever looked it up?
Little King.
It does,
Ooh.
and which I find very appropriate. I use that for my friends all the time. I'm the king here, so let's just establish. Now, how are you, sir? How are things over at Wicked?
Fantastic. How can it not be?
This had to have been, with your age, this had to have been something you listened to, right? Before,
oh, my God, absolutely.
Yeah, right, or saw on tour or something like that?
Yes, I saw, I think, either the first or second national tour in Minneapolis, which is where I was born and bred. The album came out when I was 11, so I was singing Glinda at the time.
Certainly, right? Yes, with that vocal range of an 11-year-old.
I have a sister; she's also a singer. We battled it out, but she's much more of an alpha. And frankly, I am much more
popular,
of a Glinda. So that's right. So yeah, and you know, I obviously fell in love with the role of Fiyero and was like, man, it would be so cool to play that role someday. And I always thought that I would, but like, you know, in the regional equivalent of a production after the Broadway production had closed. I mean, no one. It's so hard to predict a blockbuster lasting 15 years, and you know, here I am 15 years later doing it. It's still. I have moments on stage where I like. I mean, I'm not like admitting to unprofessionalism here.
No, of course
but,
not. No,
but where I will like lose focus a little bit because I'll be like, oh my God, this is happening to me.
Yeah.
Like Glinda is right there. Like I see her. She's on stage. It's crazy.
On Broadway in Wicked, playing Fiyero, which is just such an incredible role. How does it feel to be making your Broadway debut? I mean, you've done so much. But what was that first night like? Taking your first bow on a Broadway stage. What was that feeling? What was going through?
That's a fantastic question and a poignant one. I mean, so apparently I'm very accident prone. I don't know what happened to me, but so you know, I rehearsed for a month.
Right.
Nothing bad happened to me. You know, did the dance a million times. Everything's fine. Okay. The day that I was making my debut, I did like a little dance rehearsal on stage. and I fell and twisted my ankle. And like I'm a major hypochondriac. Like I'll get a rash and I'll like look online and be like, how is this like my death?
Yeah, WebMD is gonna kill me.
It's insane. And of course it was totally fine. I did the show anyway. Nothing bad happened. Okay.
Right.
But interestingly enough, that having happened, I was so focused on just like making sure that I didn't do any more incremental damage that I ended up completely losing touch with all of the nervousness that could have been associated with the night, and it ended up being a really interesting godsend.
Yeah.
And I got a few really sort of magical moments out of the deal. One, namely, I mean, to your point, taking that bow.
Yeah,
was you know,
big deal.
because I've been doing theater since I was 6, so that's the culmination of almost 2 decades of dreaming that this moment might someday happen, and the fact that it did, that was crazy. But I also got a really interesting moment. You know, when they call play, I'm used to like, you know, regional theater and high school theater, so they call places and you go to places. You know, on Broadway they call places and it takes like 7 minutes. And but so they called places and I like went to the stage and there was no one there, and I'm standing there with nothing but the map curtain between me and the audience of 2,000 people.
Yeah.
And that moment of to share with the audience and to be like, oh, this is happening, was something I will truly never forget.
Absolutely. And there has to be sort of, I mean, you're a Jimmy Award winner, to sort of be on a Broadway stage in that moment, sort of, you know, when you won, sort of making that like, this is what I want to do, and then to see that all sort of come to fruition so not that long afterward has got to be, I mean, it just must make you feel very good about yourself and like what you, and your talents. I mean, you know, like
well,
that's, or the hard work, of course, that you put into everything.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, you know, I think that's an apt point. It's amazing. It's the combination, and I can completely identify and recognize it's the combination of a lot of hard work and a lot of luck. You know, I've been extraordinarily lucky. I never take that for granted. And that moment was a major pinnacle in my life.
What's it like for you to join as you were saying, like no one could have predicted that, you know, Wicked would still be the huge hit that it is, but it is, and it's a well-oiled machine at this point. What's it like to join something like that as opposed to creating a role or being involved with something from the very beginning?
Sure, yeah. I mean, seamless, interestingly enough, because they've done it so often.
Yeah.
You know, they have a very streamlined process of how to give people what they need, and also how to get from them what they need in order to have both parties feel confident the night that they go on that this is going to be a seamless transition for them. Stage management, the associate director Lisa, all of the team that comprises of the dance captains, you know, everyone just really knows their stuff, and because it isn't a fully fledged rehearsal process in terms of all of the people and all of the elements coming together at the same time, it's just my rehearsal process.
Right.
They can cater that process to my individual needs, you know. So I come into this role having acted a lot, having sung a lot, and having danced very little. So you know, my music rehearsal and going through the text and finding the acting beats, that didn't take us very long. But you know, considering one of his main numbers is dancing through life, and I'm you know barely a good walker, that took a little bit more time.
Sure.
And the fact that they could create that rehearsal process in a way that was fortifying my individual needs. Again, just really streamlined that process and made it very easy, to the point that when my debut night came around, I felt very confident, and they felt very confident too.
Yeah. Did Kurt Hansen, who preceded you as Fiyero, did he have any pearls of wisdom for you as you were getting ready to take over Fiyero?
Yeah. So actually, one of my most cherished sort of memories of learning the part is getting to trail backstage, getting to shadow him, and I could not have asked for a better Fiyero to sort of show me the ropes. You know, he sort of is Fiyero in the sense that he's very chill. There's not a lot of pressure about it, and so you know he just sort of laid it out very simply, and you know, made it feel very comfortable. He's a really cool guy, a really smart guy. He's tremendously talented. I loved watching him, and I loved getting to know him too. We actually had a moment where I was like, man, this sucks, because like you're one of my best friends in the building, and like I have to like be here and you won't be here anymore.
Right.
So that was too bad. But he's incredible, and like I said before, I couldn't have asked for a better role model to watch and learn from.
I bet. And of course, the Wicked fandom is legion. They are are in a class all their own, and we love them for it. What is it like to now be a part of this fandom and to engage with the very spirited fans that are very attached to Wicked?
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I've been really, really fortunate to be a part of a couple of things that have
very true
fandoms.
Yeah, no,
like
that
this,
is a very good point. Yeah,
Heathers is a great example. Rocky Horror is obviously a great example. Sort of these like cult followings almost. I'm obsessed with it. I mean, you say what you will about the that type of person or whatever, that type of like groupthink mentality. Say whatever you will, but I'm obsessed with it. I think I love that energy. I mean, obviously it can take a downward turn sometimes if you make them mad.
Sure.
But I'm obsessed with it. I think it's so much fun. I love going out and signing and the energy that's there. I love reading all the stuff online and because for the most part it's like overwhelming, like guttural support
exactly
for the enterprise.
It is love at its deepest core.
And social media is two sides of a coin, and obviously there's some garbage too, but I just ignore it, and that's fine. And that has nothing to do with the Wicked fandom. That's just online anyway.
Right.
So I just ignore that, but the energy that you can capitalize from that, I mean, my goodness, it's unparalleled.
Yeah. And speaking of Heathers, which you brought, I mean, that is something that truly the people that saw it while it was here absolutely loved it and went back and told people like it is so good, you absolutely need to see it. And then it just really blew up into this cult. I mean, like Riverdale just did an episode of Heathers the musical. It's a huge hit in London. Yeah. Did you know at the beginning stages when you were involved in that, did you know like, man, this thing is people are gonna love this thing?
No way. I mean, don't get me wrong.
You knew it was
we
good.
all believed in the enterprise.
Right.
That's why we were doing it. I'm a massive fan of the original film, and we had a lot of support from those original cast members. Winona and Christian both came to see it, and we cherished what it was, and we knew that the people who were going to come and see it would like it. But sort of in the same regard of like that you can never predict a Wicked, Heathers became as beloved as it's become after we closed.
Yeah, right.
And you can't really predict that, but it's a testament to Larry and Kevin's work of writing music and lyrics that are brilliant and poignant and captivating and catchy and all of that. It's also a testament to just the hunger in the culture right now of a musical that doesn't apologize for itself and that has like
That's a really good point. Yeah.
love yourself message and don't bully people message and we can get through this message. Those types of things are things that young audiences need to hear. I was having a conversation recently with John Edson, who played the original Ram with me off Broadway, and we were talking about sort of the musical theater soundtracks that like got us through the emotional turmoil that is high school. And I was talking like Spring Awakening was that for me. I wore that album out like nobody's business, and I was like, this is talking to me. They understand me. No one else gets it.
Right.
And that's the point of art. I think
certainly,
at least
particularly musical theater in that
yes,
sort of
and particularly in that age range.
Right.
And so the fact that we were able to sort of fill that vacuum, again, not something that we anticipated, but like something that is just so awe-inspiring and really, really precious to us.
Yeah. No, absolutely fantastic. And you have done, as Caitlin mentioned in your intro in the beginning, you've done this incredible job of balancing where, in terms of the TV and film work that you do and the theater work that you do, you're here, you're on Broadway. Is this something that you would like to stick with for a little bit, or are you still just open to whatever opportunities may come your way? Where are your thoughts in terms of, because you've been doing Wicked since what, September?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. So I mean, what are you planning? What are you thinking? What are you hoping for?
So I was raised in a Catholic household. My father always told me, if you want to make God laugh, make a plan. And especially in this business, I've been slapped on the wrist by fate many times by making plans. So I think it's much more important to have a passion than a plan. I've said that many times, and my my passion is doing exactly what I've done, and so I want to make art. I don't care what face it wears.
Right.
So if it's on the stage or in front of a camera, or if I'm making music or doing voiceover, I don't care. I just want to tell stories. That's what I'm passionate about. So so I don't care how that happens. And I also know, as much as I would like it to be, it's not up to me what happens next. You know, there's a whole myriad of factors that I don't get to control. So whatever happens will happen, and as long as I get to tell stories, I'll be happy. But I love doing theater. Theater's my roots. Theater's where I started. So if I get to do more, I will consider myself immensely blessed.
Yeah, and is writing and recording original music something that, because you put out an EP last year?
Yes, I did.
Is that something that you still have in the works, stuff you're tinkering with?
Yes, absolutely. So that was a really special project for me, and I can admit this openly. Like, you know, that wasn't like the best work I've ever done in my whole life. You know what I mean? But it was a new chapter for me in the sense that I wrote, produced, recorded all of that on my own.
Yep.
And so that was a massive learning curve, and a mentor to me once told me that done is better than perfect. So I was like, I just need to finish this and get it out there. And so that's something that I continue to work on every day. It's really hard, and I don't really know what I'm doing, but you know, you learn by doing. So but I love making music. Like I said, I love telling stories, and that's just another venue with which I can tell them. So you can absolutely anticipate more of that in the future too.
Fantastic. Let's reach out to some of your fans and those watching. What would they like to know?
We got some questions. Yes,
Ryan.
Definitely. So Leah wants to know that what is it like working with your Alphaba and your Glinda, Jessica Vosk and Katie Rose Clark? What's it been like?
I mean, it's a dream. They're both such pros, you know, like in the truest sense of the word. They're there to do the work. They're both extremely talented individuals. I mean, Jessica's, I'll go one by one. Jessica's voice is unparalleled. I'm not sure I've actually experienced an instrument like that before. So to sing a duet with her is like out of this world. To like have her voice right here is truly like an inordinate blessing. I'm just like, keep going. I don't need to sing my verse. Take it away. I mean, she's just stunning, and so it's just such a pleasure to work with her. And Katie Rose, I mean, my goodness, she's like a Broadway veteran. She's a Glinda veteran. She knows this role inside and out. She's so versatile, so flexible. It's like a very minute differences, but a different performance every night. She's just so in the moment, and it's so splendid to act opposite of her. All the while, she's a new mother. I'm just sort of like, this is like a superhero beyond my imagining. This woman, and I have massive amount of respect for her, and to get to meet her and cross paths with her and just like pick her brain about all the wisdom she has been really amazing. They're both just truly astonishing performers and wonderful people.
The show knows how to pick them.
Yeah.
You're doing it right over there, Wicked.
That.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, so Jane wants to know, what is the very first show you ever did? Whether it was in like middle school, elementary school, do you remember it?
Yeah. Well, okay. So the first show I ever did was a community theater show. It was like an adaptation of Cinderella, but I don't really know what was going on. My sister was like in a poodle skirt, and like there was like a tribe of like 1,000 little girls on that side, and then I was called like a cool cat and had
very
like
loose.
a jacket on and sunglasses, and there were like 95 of us in this corner. So it was one of those like community theater ploys to just cast as many people as possible, which is fantastic, and that was my introduction to theater, so that's great. How that relates to like the plot of Cinderella, I still am confused about. But that was my first go at it. And I loved it, clearly.
Yeah.
I got bitten by something, and here I am.
Do you remember, what was the first production where you knew what you were doing, I guess? That's where you were really stepping forth with a sense of responsibility.
Right, so my first professional production was, this is sort of a long story, I want to make it short, but it's really good, because I'm obsessed with this. So my sister sort of always knew that she was going to do this, and I didn't really. She was taking voice lessons from a sort of prominent musical theater vocal coach in the Twin Cities, and we didn't have a nanny or whatever, so I like had to go along.
Sure,
and I just like
yeah.
sat there and played with the dog while my sister learned how to sing. And at the end of the lesson, the voice teacher was like, "Does your son sing?" And my mom was like, "I mean, not really. Like he's like done some plays for fun, a la Cool Cat." Okay, so he's like, "Well, let me just like do a session with him for 5 minutes." We do it. What we don't know is that he's in cahoots with an artistic director at a theater in St. Paul, a professional theater in St. Paul. He tells him that he's like found this kid who's like really experienced and knows what he's doing because they were looking for like an 8-year-old boy for their play. So kind of like lies on my behalf. Well, I go in and audition and they keep saying like, "Oh my goodness, we're so glad we found you, like all this experience, whatever." And me and my mom are like, "What? Okay, sure." And I got the role. Then they sort of learned the lack of experience that I had, so they sort of double cast it with 2 boys,
Okay.
and there was sort of like a hierarchy, and he was above me, whatever. So my job was mostly just like sitting back and watching, and I would step in whenever my time had come. Okay, I'm a type 1 diabetic. I was diagnosed when I was 6. Halloween comes around, and the other boy doesn't want to go to rehearsal because it's Halloween. I can't do Halloween because poison. So I do the rehearsal, and I did such a good job that they switched the hierarchy. And that to me is like, I mean, I feel bad for him.
showbiz story.
True showbiz story. But also like, come on, diabetes, like getting me my start. That's pretty fierce.
Right,
But
right.
so that's when it was like, oh, like this just really got real, and I need to like really
Yeah.
step it up. And I think that's sort of the moment where I was like, this is like,
If I take this seriously,
it sort
yeah.
of felt like I was like I didn't choose it, it chose me kind of thing, as silly as that might sound.
Yeah.
Like
No, I
that,
get it.
and that was sort of the turning point of like, oh, I'm going to do this forever.
Wow, that's thrilling.
I
Wow,
love
look
it.
at that.
So,
I
come
wonder
on,
I wonder what
diabetes.
happened to that poor other
other
boy.
guy?
I'm sure he's doing just fine.
He got candy.
He's doing fine.
Yeah,
did
he
fine.
got candy.
He got candy. You
He had
did
like
not.
a-
Reese's.
Yeah, it's-
He had a fun childhood. I was just pale, emaciated, but working.
Booked and busy.
busy, honey.
All right, we can do one more question.
I won't tell a long story. This
Please,
time. I'll be very prepared.
that's what you're here
Totally
to do. Tell us
fine.
stories. Yeah.
So Mary wants to know, last question is, have you had a moment where it clicked and you're like, I can't believe I'm doing this on Broadway? Is there one moment that kind of sets itself apart from the past few months you've been doing
I mean,
this?
to be completely honest, I probably have a moment like that once a week at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the first one ever was sort of towards the end of the show. There's sort of like a big climactic moment where the love triangle is like at full flame and everyone's on stage, and I'm trying to save Elphaba, but I'm trying to appease Glinda too. And there's like a moment, like a very charged moment that I have with Glinda, and I almost went up on my line because it was like what I was saying. I turned, and there was Glinda in all her glory, and the bubble dress and the crown and the huge wand, not from the vantage point of an audience, not from a YouTube video that I had obsessively pored over,
Yeah.
but Glinda actually on the stage with me, and I was Fiyero, and I was like, what is happening? Like, this
Yeah.
is too good.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, and say your line, and then I said it, and that's good. That's good that I did that. But I mean, truly, just like seeing her up close and personal, like there was Glinda, and I am Fiyero, and this is happening.
Alpha was behind me.
It was, I mean, and it was truly like almost out of body.
Yeah.
And that was the first time it had happened. But that is to say it happens often.
No, I've never heard it described. I bet that gets
That's
tucked
good.
away back there. Yeah, that's really special. That's amazing. Well, in case you didn't know who Ryan McCartan was until this moment, where can they follow you? Where can they keep track of your adventures?
On Twitter, I'm Ryan McCartan, just my name. On Instagram, someone took Ryan McCartan before I did.
Rude.
I bet it was that boy from the play.
Oh, that's really funny. So I am MCCARYA, half my last name, half my first name.
All right,
on Instagram.
fantastic. And make sure, I don't think I have to tell you this, but make sure you go see Wicked, see Ryan as Fiyero at the Gershwin Theater here on Broadway. Thank you so much, sir. Lovely chatting with
Thank you for
So
having me.
wonderful at being
Such a
able to chat.
pleasure.
Of course. Caitlin, why don't you take us out?
Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. We're live at 5 every single day on Facebook. You can listen to us wherever you get your podcasts by searching for hashtag live at 5 and hitting that subscribe button. Be sure to tune in tomorrow to talk to Manu Narayan of Merrily We Roll Along.